Okay, I've got a Husqvarna 1100 CD. If you can, that's the IPL, and I've got it down to this level, which is the first time I've been down this far. I've really got its pants pulled down, and the reason I did that was that I'll see if I can get it into focus. There we go. This is the crankshaft out of it, and it was running really strange, like unbelievably strange. I couldn't. I'd sort of get it to fire, then it wouldn't fire, and upon closer investigation, the woodruff key was completely flattened off, and there was just a little wee bit hanging onto it, and it is just unbelievably tight to get that in there. Sorry, to get that out. I even got into it with a Dremel, and of course it's all hardened, and I sort of chowdered it up a wee bit, and I just can't get the bloody thing out. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, maybe not. 7401. So I presume that's the year, January 1974, because these things apparently went from 1973 to 1975. Yes, I guess so. Anyway, I got another crank, bought another crank which appears fine. The sizing's the same, completely different serial number on there. Yeah, so I need to swap those over. So that'll be the first time doing that. And in the meantime, I found the bearings. So these are the cases of the 1100, and the bearings. Yeah, I don't know if they should be that noisy. I doubt it. So that one's not too bad. That's the flywheel side. Oh, actually I don't know which side. No. Oh, of course, yeah. That one's actually better. That's the drive side, PDO side, and that one's better than the flywheel side. But the crank itself seemed fine. I had to put another piston on it because that was that actually had a chunk missing out of it. But the cylinder seems fine. So the next step is I've got some more bearings. So I've got to drive these out, which will be a first. So I'll be frantically researching on the internet how to do that properly without destroying anything. And same here. Replace the new bearings in it, and good to go. So, yeah, wish me luck. I won't show the process of doing it because, oh bloody hell, just dropped screws everywhere. Because as you can see, I'm a bit of a dunderhead. Anyway, I'll find that other screw, and I'll bring you back when if I have success or failure or whatever. Actually, I wanted to show you the while I turned that over. It has a funny seal arrangement actually. So you've actually got a seal on there as well. Yeah. Oh, that's just a regular seal. Okay. Maybe it's not as bad. Anyway, rightio. I'll bring you back when I've got it out or smashed the case in half. Rightio. Okay, I managed to get one out. First one I tried, so I haven't wrecked anything. I found an old 38mm inch drive, or thereabouts, 3/4 inch drive, whatever, it doesn't matter, and it's the biggest socket I've got, and it just, the bearing just, geez, it's still pretty warm. So I heated it up with the heat gun, one of those air heat guns, to about 200 odd around the flange, just around here, and just tapped it out. So I had that on there like that, of course the bearing in there, then put a 17mm over the top, which fits onto the inner race. A few taps of the persuader. I took it nice and easy, and it just popped out. But of course I was very lucky with this socket size, that it just fits in. So if anyone's looking, is this a 1603? Is it 6203? 6203 bearing, SKF, Sweden. You can hear that. That's a racing model, that one, and it just fits in there quite neatly. I mean, there's virtually no. Oh, that was very lucky. That anything any smaller, and I would have been defeating the purpose. So anyway, I'm pleased with that. I'll do another one, and we'll go again. But I think no, I'm not going to say we're on a win, because I don't want to jinx it. There you go. Okay, that's just on 200 Fahrenheit. A little bit trickier this side because you've got a stepped lip. So, as I said, I'm by no means a professional or even experienced. But I'll give it a go. Yep, that's moving out quite nicely. Just got to make sure that it's nicely centered. I don't have too much room to move on my, inside that socket. There we go. Does that look alright? I'm pretty chuffed with that. So I just looked up on various sites to get that information. Hey, it'll be a tad warm. And I heated the case up to about just over 200 Fahrenheit. I know some of the fellas were saying to go quite a lot higher than that, so I thought, I don't really know what I'm doing, so I thought I'd just try little bits. The first couple of whacks it seemed hard because it must have been just rubbing on the inside of here. As you can see, it's a very, very tight fit. Not ideal, but it does work. There's virtually no movement in there. So that's good. So I'll get the bearings, put them in the freezer. Yeah. And tap them into place, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's the same thing. And I guess put the bearing face is just level with here, from what I can make out. Which I guess makes sense because you want your crank to be centered. So I'll just have to take particular attention to that, but all these surfaces look good. I'm not going to say we're winning just yet, but we're getting close. Right, what's the time? Bloody near lunchtime, that'll do us. Okay, I've got one bearing in. We'll have a go on the other one. Getting close. It's about 170. Yep. To 195, a little bit more. Right, and I've had the bearing in the freezer. I've just had it wrapped in paper. I hope it's still chilly. Try not to burn my fingers, I guess. Geez, look at that, that just slides in there. And then just give it a bit of a tap in, that's what I did last time. And from memory, the other one was just flush with the case. It might have been protruding sort of, you know, a few thou. Because there is a gap at the back of this one, which I made note of. But yeah, I'm going to be pretty happy with that. That case is pretty hot, but I just heated that up to, well, it's cool right off now, but that was about 200, maybe 210 Fahrenheit. What's that in the old coin? Bugger all. That can't be right. It says 60 degrees. Oh no, a bit more than that. Yeah. I just went off, I think it was Walt's site. I think he had it at about that. And tapped her in, and by Joves, it works. So next step is drag the crank through, I guess, or do the gaskets and all that sort of carry on. So we're getting there. Okay, we managed to get it all back together without wrecking too much. Yeah, it all went pretty smoothly. I dragged Matt Olson's tools. He's got a set of tools. If you just if you're looking for them to bring the cases together. So it's a tube that goes over here with a threaded rod for both, one for each end, and you wind it in with a nut, and it draws the crankshaft through, and on this side, on one side and then the other side, you can use it to push the cases together. I'm probably not explaining it very well, but it seems to work very well. There's no massive pressure, you're not thumping anything or using heat and hammers and stuff like that, which yeah, probably not the best anyway. I wouldn't know. This is the first one I've done, so yeah, so not too much swearing. I did manage to bugger a seal up though. I got that round the wrong bloody way, but luckily I had a few spares, so I just popped another one in and Bob's your uncle. So, but yeah, all good. So replace the bearings, replace the crank, and the old 3-bond trick on the gasket, sealed all that up, and put it all back together again. It's only probably a half an hour job for somebody who knows what they're doing. It's only taken me pretty much all day. But anyway, yeah, crank centered, free, everything looking good. So now I've just got to spend another probably day bolting all together, and it works. Right, we'll keep going on it then. I tried the old trick of getting this seal in past the crank. The crank's got a step in it, if you can see that on the drive side of it, chain drive side of it, and no matter what I did, I was rolling the seal because I've put new seals in it, and I stumbled across a guy on the internet doing up a 2100, which is very similar, and if you can see that there, that's a piece of the old film. So for those of you under 40, go and see your grandparents, or maybe under 30, that's probably better, isn't it? They might have some lying around from the war. Anyway, and you just wrap a bit of that around and it slides over and it works. So yeah, so what you do is you cut a piece off and wrap it round so it just matches the circumference of the you know, you take the legs off, the tails off it, and just so it matches the circumference. I've got just a little bit of overlap, and then put a bit of lube on there and just slide your seal over. And this one here, the seal is actually part of the of this oil pump. It's a funny arrangement. So yeah, so I'm quite pleased with that. I just have to check the other side because I didn't realise that, and I may have rolled the seal on that side. Right, so anyway, yeah, I'll pull the crank off, pull the flywheel off and the ignition, and see if I've made a mess of that. I watched some people, they can build one of these things in about an hour. This has only taken 2 days. Anyway. Okay, I've got the saw back together, and I had it fire and that's about it. And now I've got the carburetor apart because it seems to be over fueling to buggery. I think the float setting, the little needle arm, may have been set incorrectly. It was sitting quite proud of this surface here. It should be about level. It was sitting up quite proud, so not sure about that. I might redo it, and yeah, it looked like it was sort of all the way open. So I really want to... We had her going, and now she's back on the bench again. It seems like Murphy has struck with a vengeance. Things were going too well, and he thought, bugger this, I'll put an end to this palaver. We've run out of spark, so switch has been turned on and off and disconnected. I've got a good earth lead running into there, which is running onto the plug. Probably a bit close, but not a damn thing. So I believe it could be, hopefully it's just in here, or it could be the electronic unit itself, because it did appear to have a bit of damage on the back of it. I'm trying to track another one down. Anyway, I'll take the side cover off and I'll put a drill on it and really spin it over, just in case it's my feeble attempts at pulling it, but I don't know if that's going to work either. Okay, got the drill on, we're all set to go. May have gone slightly overboard with the earthing situation. Zoom in, we'll have a go, fingers crossed. Nada. Yeah, and that's exactly the same even when I disconnect the old switch there. So I'll tell you what, it's almost enough to drive a man to golf. Bloody hell. But we'll persevere. I'll keep you posted. I think I'll whack this one up on the old interweb. It's probably gone on long enough now anyway. Only taken about 3 days, possibly more. Anyway, we'll get her up and keep going. 10-4 Mary over and out.